Airlines Arena before, I guess, what is the first really big game of the year. There have been some interesting home dates. The Heat are undefeated at home, but tonight kind of feels like a playoff game. LeBron's here. Anthony Davis is here. The Lakers are here. They've been the best team in the NBA along with the Milwaukee Bucks this season. But the biggest deal is Nekias Duncan is here. This is a big thing. I mean, people were trying to get a picture with LeBron. They were also trying to get pictures with Nekias. First appearance here at American Airlines Arena as credential media has made the trip down from one of the Carolinas. I'm never sure which. Nekias, thank you for joining me. Appreciate it.
Nice for having me on. I'm obviously happy to be here. It's a pretty big arena. Still trying to find my way around, but I'm loving it.
We'll get you lost somewhere in Championship Alley. All right, so let's get to the starting lineup tonight for the Miami Heat. It's the same as it's been. Same five guys. Butler, Adebayo, Leonard, Robinson, and Nunn. So no changes there. The two guys that are out, of course, Goran Dragic and Justice Winslow still out. I'm hearing for Goran it's going to be a while longer. So he may be out quite a bit longer. With Justice, it's kind of hard to know right now. But that means that the Heat are really down to one ball handler. Tyler Hero will play tonight. Not feeling great. He was questionable, but he will play and come off the bench tonight. They need a big game from him. The story on the Lakers side, no Kyle Kuzma tonight. So he's the one significant Laker player who's out, so we don't have to have these stupid Twitter arguments about whether he's better than Pascal Siakam. I don't know where that started. But Nekias, let's get to this. Jimmy's been playing a lot of minutes. He's been driving to the basket quite a bit more because he's had to do that, and he's looked exhausted after the past two games. How did they take some of the burden off Jimmy tonight?
I think ideally, at least with the starting lineup, you're going to have to bank on Kendrick Nunn knocking down some pull-up shots, and that has not been a safe bet against good teams so far this year. Even in the Laker game, shot pretty poorly there. He did get some good looks, but did not knock those down at all. Ideally, you want to have him knocking down shots. The Lakers didn't do a great job of tracking Duncan Robinson off the ball in the first matchup. He did miss just about all of his threes that he took. The second night of back-to-back kind of affected a lot of the shooters' legs in that one. So hopefully if you can get those guys knocking down perimeter shots, Jimmy can kind of play point guard, just kind of facilitate, watch Duncan come off screens, have Kendrick Nunn come off screens as well. Try to take some of that on-ball creation burden off of him.
All right, let's go to the second of the five issues tonight. Usually you start with this when you face LeBron. Last time he was down, he scored 51, Nekias. He was taking games off in Miami for a while, and people are asking, is Dragic still out? He is. So if you want to rewind on this. But, when you take a look at LeBron's situation here, typically the Heat have liked to throw 3 or 4 defenders at him. They have Jimmy. You're not going to put Kendrick Nunn on him, right? You don't really want Duncan Robinson on him. I guess without Winslow, Derek Jones Jr. becomes the second defender on LeBron tonight, or you think we'll see some James Johnson?
This needs to be the James Johnson game, because if this isn't the James Johnson game, I don't know if there is a James Johnson game at this point. He really just hasn't been a part of the rotation at all. But yeah, probably going to see a little bit of James Johnson. You're going to see Derek Jones Jr., who has been fine over the last couple of weeks defensively. He is just rail thin, so I kind of worry about LeBron kind of isolating him 18 feet out, just backing him into the basket. But it's going to be up to those two to kind of bother LeBron, and good luck.
So let's get to the other question. Out in Los Angeles, and again, I kind of look past that game a little bit, as good as the Lakers have been, because the Heat were at the end of that road trip. Remember, that was the Dion Gummy game, right? So they got off a plane after a guy had a panic attack on a plane, and then they were expected to face the Lakers. But if you remember, Spoelstra, as he has typically done, has not put Bam, one of the best defensive players in the league, on the best opposing big. He didn't do it against Jokic. He didn't do it against Embiid. He didn't do it against Anthony Davis. He didn't do it against Karl Anthony Towns early in that game either. Tonight, you expect the same strategy. Leonard starts on Anthony Davis, and maybe Bam plays him in the big moments?
And they tried to save Bam early in games, kind of have Myers, Leonard bang with those bigger bigs, try to take some of that pressure off of Bam. But I think we're going to have to see more of Bam on Anthony Davis, because Anthony Davis has been on fire over the last week or so. He's not too long ago just had a 50-burger himself. So I think Bam obviously has the length, 7'3" wingspan, has the lateral quickness to hang with Anthony Davis on the perimeter. He's going to have to be that guy that locks him up late in the game if the game is close by then.
Number 4 here. Who are the Heat missing more lately, Goran Dragic or Justice Winslow?
I would think it's Goran, just because he's been the guy that's kind of settled the second unit down. He's been that spark plug off the bench. He's kind of gotten them into their sets. We've seen a lot of Tyler Hero and Kendrick Nunn handling the ball in those pseudo second units since Goran's been out, and it has not been great. You obviously miss Justice more for this matchup, because he's a guy that can hang on LeBron James a little bit you wouldn't have to rely on Derrick Jones Jr. or knocking the cobwebs off of James Johnson to bring him in on LeBron. So I think for like a big matchup like this, you miss Justice. But over the stretch, they've both been out. I think Goran has been the guy they've missed the most.
All right, the fifth thing here, we're really not going to talk much Dion Waiters. I know people are asking, but Eric Spoelstra was asked before the game. He said there's nothing new. I said weeks ago, I don't think Dion will ever play for the Heat again. And obviously after this third strike, I think that's definitely the case. But I want to get to the schedule with you a little, Nekias, because we keep hearing about these back-to-backs, right? The Heat have played a ton of back-to-backs, and coincidentally, they seem to be playing better teams during the back-to-backs. I'm not sure why that is. We've seen that kind of over and over, and now you're going to have it again where they got to go into Dallas tomorrow night against a very good Mavericks team that is very difficult to handle, particularly in the front court, right? And so I guess what I would ask you is we hear about Heat conditioning all the time, and there aren't as many back-to-backs as there used to be. How legitimate an excuse is it for the way the Heat have played, especially on the second night of these back-to-backs?
I think they do deserve a little bit of slack just because, as you said, with those back-to-backs, they seem to be catching like Boston. They've caught the Lakers. Like they've caught some really tough lineups, and they rely a lot on their perimeter shooters.
Mm-hmm.
And back-to-backs affect them the most since they run around so much in like their post-split actions. They always, Miami primarily runs a drop defense. You're asking those guys to fight over screens on the other end. So it's just a lot of stress, and to have to do that on back-to-back days is just a lot to ask for. So I will give them a little bit of slack on that front.
Yeah, no, and again, they've caught some big opponents. I mean, this week, at least they're going to get Philadelphia not on the second night of a back-to-back for a change because they got another game against Philly to be a back-to-back. By the way, watch party, Gold Club Pompano. We got to mention that. Wednesday night, ladies and free. Nekias will be out of town, so you don't have to get in any trouble. But anybody else wants to come to that one. All right, so let's get to tonight. It's funny. We were sitting with Amin Al-Hassan before the game, and he thinks the Heat win tonight. I wasn't coming down with that mindset. I think this is really difficult with Dragic and Winslow being out and this burden that's been put on Jimmy lately. Give me a way that the Heat can win this game.
Definitely the number one thing. In the second night against the Lakers last time, they still generated a ton of good looks from three. Duncan Robinson couldn't hit anything. Tyler Hero couldn't hit anything. Kendrick Nunn couldn't hit anything. Jimmy Butler went 0-4 from three, and he's not a great shooter anyway. So I think the path is knocking down those shots in the half court, kind of having the Lakers go against your set defense. You obviously have to worry about LeBron a little bit, but if Miami can get their defense set, then they can kind of dig in from the perimeter if they need to. They can send stunts. They can trap if they want to. Don't know how successful that's going to be against a guy like LeBron, but they'll at least have that in their bag, and they won't be on their heels as much. So I think if they get their shots to go down, it becomes more of a fair fight.
Yeah, to me, I think to me the magic number tonight is between Nunn, Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero. They need 9 threes. They get 9 threes out of those guys. I think they can stay in the game. That's Alf. I don't know why the hell he's wearing a sport coat. He usually doesn't look that good. We're going to pod after the game, Alf. You're not going out. Anyway, thanks to Nekias for joining me. Appreciate it. Check out 5reasonsports.com for all the latest Heat columns. Nekias has been writing a Launching Pad column. Usually comes out on Monday. Greg Sylvander on Tuesday. I mentioned the watch party on Wednesday night. And buy your T-shirts, 5reasonsports.com. I've seen a couple at the arena the past few nights. Have a great night, guys.